Since the movie's been out, we've been talking. No, let me do that over again. Since the movie has been out, or even before it came out, the discussion between Broly versus Jiren has been going on. And I've done a video a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, talking about Ultra Instinct Goku and Gogeta Blue. And I talked a little bit about that in that video, but I want to really focus on Jiren versus Broly and who actually is considered more powerful, or how we can determine who is more powerful as of right now. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say that in order for this video to kind of work, you have to disconnect all of the fan bias that you may have. So if you're watching this video and you have a favorite among the two, like Broly or Jiren, that's not what this is about. So you have to really disconnect who you prefer more, like who you think is cooler, and just look at the actual, we're going to look at the actual statements made and the facts and the feats that these characters have shown to try our best to tell you which one's stronger. Now, joining me on this video, he was on that video, that the UI Goku versus Gogeta Blue video. He's back here talking about it again, and I think he may have covered this on his channel at one time, but this time we're going to really delve into it. MJ, what's up, man?
What's going on? And yeah, I kind of did talk about Jiren and Broly, but it wasn't Jiren versus Broly. It was kind of more of a breakdown on Jiren's power with Carthu's dojo, so yeah.
Yes. Well, here it's going to be a little bit of both. So, you know, I think a lot of people are taking Goku's statement at the end of the movie where he says that he thinks that Beerus he thinks that Broly may be stronger than Beerus. He doesn't know for sure. He says he may be stronger than Beerus. He's the toughest guy he ever faced. And people are saying, well, if this is after the Tournament of Power, he already faced Jiren before. You know, does that not mean that Broly's just automatically stronger? And the answer to that is no, only because, yeah, we could put stock in what Goku said, but there are other pieces of evidence that Jiren and different feats that Jiren's done that we've never seen Broly do. And we've seen Broly pretty much at max power against Gogeta Blue, and he was impressive, don't get me wrong, but there are still things that Jiren did that we did not see Broly do.
Yeah, Seth talked about this on the UI Gogeta video, and he went more in depth with that, so you guys might want to go check that out. But he discusses the idea that Beerus' power, at least to Goku anyways, is kind of a mystery, and Goku may have this weird perception of hyping up Beerus more than he actually should, and you could probably take that into account when he's comparing Broly to Beerus. But at the end of the day, you know, Goku really doesn't know Beerus' full power. He doesn't know that extent. He has not fought Beerus in his blue form or with the Kaioken or whatever, at least to our knowledge, you know. So he has not done any of that. And him comparing Broly to Beerus has always just been one of those weird statements, because do you want to trust Goku's word? Because I would probably put more stock into, let's say, Whis or like the Grand Priest or one of the angels doing it. Don't get me wrong, the gods have been wrong before, but I would put more stock into them saying something like that than more so than Goku, if you catch my drift.
Well, I mean, just based on the way that Whis sort of reacts to the different events in Super versus in the movie. Now, obviously, the movie's going to be cut down because they have a limited runtime, but it seemed like Whis was way more impressed with Migate no Gokui, also because he was teaching Goku how to do it, way more, you know, and Jiren way more than he was Broly. I mean, the Broly movie, it was almost like we saw Broly as a joke. I mean, you know, Broly attacked him, he just kind of dodged, like, you know, laughing at him pretty much. But to me, there are things that Jiren did. Like, you know, he put actual fear into some of these gods of destruction. I mean, Broly, there's a scene where Beerus in the movie is like, oh, I'm glad that's over with. Doesn't really imply that he was that afraid of Broly. Whereas with Jiren, it was almost like these gods were fearful that they could even take him on. And then we have that constant buildup of Jiren doing these things. Plus the fact that he shook the world of Void. The fact that he blocked Super Saiyan God's punches with one finger, which to me is a crazy, crazy feat. And we saw God Goku fight Broly in the movie. We saw Broly do some cool things against God Goku, but it wasn't like that to where Jiren just made him look like a damn jabroni.
Yeah, there's tons of feats that Jiren performed in the tournament. One of the main feats that I think a lot of people forget about because it's such a quick scene is when Jiren throws just a quote-unquote regular punch by Vermouth in them. He scares Goku out of the blue form. Like, Goku literally walked back in fear and dropped from blue to base. So that's just something we never saw Broly do. Obviously.
Wait, you say in fear? Because I always thought that was more so his body giving out on him versus it being fear.
I thought it was fear, but I guess you could take it in the same vein, because of the fact that you're right. And that's once they started to push their body to their limits once Vegeta stood back up. So you could be right on that. But the fact of the matter is, like, Jiren has just always shown these crazy feats that have just raffle stomped blue level characters. And, you know, Broly, I guess, did that. And once he went Super Saiyan, Goku and Vegeta were kind of pushed to go fuse. But at the end of the day, it's, again, Jiren just has like ridiculous feats in the tournament. I'm not trying to like wank Jiren. I wanked Jiren on the cartoon video. If y'all want to go check that one out.
Well, this is not about wanking. This is more about just giving
telling
the
truth,
actual
yeah.
what we know. Because the thing is too about Beerus is that his power is unquantifiable right now. But at the same time, I feel like they really made an effort to tell us that Jiren is above a god of destruction, not stating which one. We don't know. They haven't actually said Jiren is stronger than Beerus. Goku said he thinks Broly may be stronger than Beerus, but nobody. But I feel like somebody with the credibility of like a Whis saying that would mean a lot more. Whereas Whis straight up said, you know, somewhere in the multiverse there is a being immortal who can evil or who can rival the gods of destruction, and it was Jiren. It was revealed to be Jiren. So obviously he had more TV time, so that's going to give you more chance to do more impressive things,
more time to build him up.
And Broly might also be a quick learner, and Broly may actually be somebody who can become stronger and stronger and stronger quicker. So there's a chance if they did fight, if the fight went long, that Broly could take it after a while. But when you really look at this fight, bro, Jiren broke the time cage, and Vado said that I mean, it's just crazy to think about. She said that he is not bound by the rules of time. And when you see something like that, yes, Broly and Gogeta did crack the dimensional fabric, but what's more impressive, that or what Jiren did cracking time, you know, breaking out of the time cage? To me, that's a toss-up, man. Everybody's going to perceive that differently, but that's I think the most impressive thing that Jiren did in all of Super, if you ask me.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. So yes, Broly and Gogeta do crack, I guess, reality. They start fighting in this dimension.
And some have theorized that they're actually accessing the hit realm, which is not the quantum realm, even though I want to call it that, but it does, it's like a blue version of it. Like, some people think that, and that's not a bad theory, because it does have that kind of purplish look.
It does have that look, and one thing that people have to understand when it comes to, I guess, power scaling characters within any show is scaling versus feats, statements versus feats. And yes, while Broly and Gogeta did do that and Jiren didn't, you can't say Jiren couldn't do that either, because in DBZ, characters like Super Buu and Vegito and them were cracking dimensions, obviously to a way lower extent, but they were doing that too. And one theory that I've seen, Danny, is people have brought up, well, maybe Goku and Jiren would have broken reality like they did if, you know, they weren't fighting the World of Void. You know?
That's right. The World of Void is an endless void. They may have cracked multiple dimensions at that rate. Who knows? I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, so I do agree with you. The time feat is obviously more impressive. And plus, if you really want to use that against Jiren, I mean, at the end of the day, look at the feats that Janemba pulled off in the movie. Not many characters can do that, but we know they're stronger than Janemba now because they're god-level characters, you know? So it's just the way it is, you know, feats versus scaling. But one thing I wanted to bring up, too, is something we talked about. And going back to what you said about him putting some fear into the gods of destruction, Jiren and most material, if not all, has been stated to be on par with the gods of destruction, and he's had strength that could possibly even surpass it. If we're taking the two characters from this video, Broly and Jiren, at their absolute max, Broly that fought Gogeta and the Jiren that fought MUI, Jiren who fought MUI, that surpasses the Jiren that fought throughout most of the tournament. He, quote unquote, broke his limits, or he reached his full potential. That Jiren is even stronger than the Jiren that's supposed to be on par, if not stronger than the gods of destruction. And
Broly's, you're saying he went beyond.
And Broly's only being compared to a god of destruction, you know? So.
Yeah, I mean, that's... The thing is, the big argument is, you know, when people say, well, which gods of destruction? Because they might not all be equal in power, which I agree with. I think there are some that are stronger than others.
Right.
And the manga gave us that god battle royale that we never got in the anime. But even that was inconclusive. Like, we don't know... There was really no real winner, even though there's too many variables here with their different techniques and whatnot. But in actual combat, I feel like if, you know, one of the things that Jiren, I think, was kind of being an idiot about in the tournament is that he has all this power, but he didn't eliminate anybody. He should have gone in there and just thrown dudes out like Roman Reigns in the 2014 Royal Rumble, you know, or Kane in the 2001 Royal Rumble. That's what he should have done. He should have been like Steve Austin looking at his watch, waiting for the next guy to challenge him. And instead he's sitting around, you know, meditating the whole time, which was kind of annoying. If Jiren allows Broly to get stronger, and we kind of said this in the Beerus versus Broly video, if Jiren allows Broly to get stronger, then Broly could possibly beat him, but I feel like that his rage would make him vulnerable to attack, like we saw Gogeta do. And I think that Jiren is too smart of a fighter for that. And I think even if Broly was raging out, Jiren would know exactly where to hit him, how to hit him, to beat him. I still think Jiren wins. I think Broly, untrained, is no match for him. I think if he trains and gets stronger, absolutely, there's a possibility. But right now, there's just not that much combat experience. It's all instinct. And that's good. Ultra Instinct obviously works. But Jiren, especially if it's after the TOP, because now Jiren is hopefully going to be a smarter fighter, and now learning his lesson from Goku isn't going to fall for the same tricks. So I feel like he would know these Saiyans are not to be screwed around with for a long time. Finish the fight quickly and move on. You know, don't try to go for go the distance. You know, get the knockout.
Especially in Broly's case, because people have brought this up. Jiren does have a history of fighting characters who rage out, quote unquote, Kel. So when Kel went berserk, he jumped in there real quick.
He just grabbed her and just tossed her away like a piece of crap.
He didn't eliminate her, but he did KO her for a moment. So if he sees Broly raging out and possibly being a danger to like Universe 7 or 11, then I can see him like just giving him like a chop to the neck or like a quick, you know, just chop, knock him out, KO him, you know, so.
It's not going to be a big flashy Kamehameha. Jiren's also faster than Broly from what we've seen. So, from what we've seen, again, being able to break time to me is just, it's immeasurable levels of power. It really is. That's like, who knows? But that's my thoughts. So you agree then that Jiren would probably edge him out then?
I do agree, especially if, you know, Broly reaches like that rage state, the Uzaru state. Once he starts to lose his sanity, and if he starts becoming a danger to the area, I feel like Jiren will take the fight seriously, go full power, and he should be able to end it. But you're right. If he keeps letting Broly get stronger and stronger and stronger, then Broly could potentially match him, if not overwhelm him.
And also, I want to add one more thing to this. Sometimes y'all take Goku's statements as being like, you know, gospel truth. Remember, Goku doesn't know everything. He's not the exposition character. Usually it's Whis or Piccolo in the older episodes, and Roshi even before that. Those are the old school masters that tend to be the exposition characters. Not saying Goku doesn't know, because he knows he's a smart guy. Trust me, when it comes to combat, he's very smart. Not saying he's smart outside of it. But that being said, though, Goku making these statements saying, wow, you're even stronger than Lord Beerus and all that, you know, yeah, he probably thinks that, but he's never even seen Beerus at full power either. So again, it's one of those things where you can't really take Goku's statements above what the series actually tells us in the narrative. That's why when I made that video about Super Saiyan 3 Goku not being able to beat Fat Buu, I took not just Buu's stamina into play, but also the fact that Goku was going to die, or he was dead, and he was running out of time, and all these different factors to prove why Goku couldn't have beat him. And I don't think he could have. I mean, I just don't think so. Even though he claimed he could have later on, we found out when he burned his body out that he was wrong. He did not even understand his own body. So Goku's not always right. And so just people who are just using that one statement in the Broly movie have to look at the bigger picture and look at what Jiren did to really like get the answer, you know. And again, we don't have the definitive answer now because, you know, they haven't fought yet. Maybe someday they will. Maybe when Super comes back, they'll fight. So
yeah, or even in Heroes, who knows?
Knowing Heroes, we're gonna get all that stuff first. Grand Priest Goku versus Broly, all that wacky.
I'm still waiting for all versions of Broly. Dark Star Broly, Super Broly, yeah, going at it.
World Breaker Broly, Broly 1 million. Might as well just throw him in there, bro. Broly with the Iron Saiyan suit that Chuck came up with. I don't know. Anyways, MJ, thanks for being here, man.
No problem, man.
We'll talk to y'all next time. Let us know in the comments what you think, and make sure you vote later.